So Airbnb is back on the radar. This stock took a pretty big hit during COVID. People couldn't travel, couldn't stay in Airbnbs, but ever since their financials have made a big improvement. Take a look in Tykr. So right away we can see the stock is on sale. The score is 67 out of 100. This is the big one, 90% margin of safety. That share price is about 126. Upside potential, 585. That is outstanding. We'll jump into the reason why in a moment. Jumping down to the chart here for the 1-year returns, you can see they're at 49%, which is really good. On the earnings calendar, the latest earnings report shows their estimate was $2.08. They came in at $2.39, beating that estimate by almost 15%, which is great. And then looking back in time here, you can see the consistent track record of beating those reports. 25% here in August 23, 100% back in May, 92% back in February, 21% going back a year ago. So nice consistent track record. Let's take a closer look at those financials. So jumping to the revenues, you can see a nice consistent increase quarter over quarter. Jumping to the net income, this is huge. Back in June of 23, they reported their net income was $650 million. That jumped up just recently to 4.3 billion, massive increase there. EPS, we can see here $1.02, jumping up to $6.83. That's why that margin is safety, and that's why that upside potential is so big. So what this tells us is when COVID hit, and you lose a lot of revenue, what happens with a company, and this can be unfortunate, you have to lay people off. You have to cut some of the overhead. What that also causes you to do if you're good at business, in other words, how do you get better with optimizing profits with less people in the business? Typically, you need to use technology. You work smarter, not harder. And what they've been able to do, and this is exactly what the story tells us, is the revenues are increasing, but what's increasing even faster, net income, the profitability. When you have a well-run business, it's painful in those difficult times like 2022. Of course, COVID was bad in 2020. But 2022, we saw a lot of businesses, they had to lay people off. They had to cut expenses. You become more operationally efficient. And when the market starts taking off, if you do it right, you'll see those revenues increase, and then you'll see those profits increase by even more. So that story is coming true right now for Airbnb. Now, more big news with this stock is the announcement of their acquisition of an AI startup called Gameplanner.ai. And what this company does, it will essentially act as a concierge for users, and it will help you find matching rooms, maybe based on what your interests are, and homes pretty much in areas you're traveling to. So that'll be a really cool experience to kind of test out. I use Airbnb, so I'll be very curious to see how that kind of is tailored to my shopping experience. Now, Airbnb was never a business I really paid much attention to, but this really impressed me going back to leadership's decision to kind of optimize the business model. And getting through those difficult times, if you do it right, like we're seeing right now, the profits are going through the roof. That shows that leadership team, Brian Chesky, and probably his board of directors as well, along with the C-suite, are making some really smart choices here. So I'm very excited to see where Airbnb goes in the future. If you guys like this stock, I'd love to see you comment below. If there's another stock you want me to take a look at, please let me know. Of course, if you like this video, hit that like button. If you want to see more like it, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to find some strong stocks that can make you money and avoid some weak stocks that can lose you money, I invite you to join Tykr for free.